Hello, my name is Chris Taylor with Gas-Powered Games, and I'm here to give you a look at Dungeon Siege 2. We start off here with a party of characters. We've actually got a mage and a fighter who's dual wielding, and we've actually got another character here which no one has seen before. This is a fire elemental. Now, this is one of our very special new characters, exotic creatures or pet, that you can have join the party. You can see and as we open up here, we've got a gorgeous world. We've pushed the rendering technology again. We've got a beautiful river in the background and a lush, beautiful environment that's been carefully handcrafted by the talented level design team at Gas-Powered Games. And goal here today is to actually just give you a taste of all the different things you might come across, starting off with some combat. We're going to head down here and jump in and fight some Haku, which when they saw us, they went and hid in the bush and started attacking us. And we're going to see if we can beat these guys up. A couple of them are running off down that path. Let's actually chase after them to finish them off here. And oh, they've turned and they thought they turned. Oh, and we got ambushed. So here it is. We have situations like this where the AI can actually be either scripted or use its dynamic AI to set up ambushes and other things like that to keep the combat very different. We've got those guys here. Look, they got their little camouflaged headgear, so to speak, headdress. Jeremy's just going to finish them off. Okay, so here's a little tiki totem. We twist this and we open up a little secret hatch, and we've got some cool stuff in here. Throughout the world in Dungeon Siege 2, it's really important that we provided a lot of richness to the world so that every turn there's something new, something interesting, and we've also added a system called powers. So as Jeremy opens up this sheet, we can see here that we've got some skills already. We've got a skill point we can assign. Not only can we open up new skills by satisfying prerequisites, but we can even double down on some of our existing skills and increase those to up to as many as 10 levels. So there we go, we've confirmed. And up above, you'll notice powers. And these powers have prerequisites. And as you develop your character, these powers open up. Now, powers are special, and they're huge. Did we get something we can equip? Maybe our dual wield? Let's go in and equip that really cool Frostbringer sword. And this is a nice big shining blade. You'll notice that with that blade, we've actually got some shader tech on that, so you get these cool reflections. You get this really neat looking swords, much better than the flat gray weapons. The rendering tech we have today is just incredible. It's gorgeous. All right, so we're going to continue on, and we've got some devastating weapons here now, so I don't think anything's going to stand in our way. We're going to make our way along. Again, here the world, handcrafted, beautifully laid out. Some of the areas that we really wanted to focus on in Dungeon Siege 2 are story and a much deeper combat system, much better loot, items, sets, rares, uniques, and so on. So we've really added a lot more depth in there. Now, one of the areas here is story, and especially how it relates to dialogue trees. So now we can go ahead and actually have multiple choices when we talk. We're actually going to go ahead and get a password here from this character, moving through it quite quickly, so that he thinks we're on his side still. We've kind of fooled him, and he's given us a password for the next station up ahead, and we're going to have to give that password in order to make our way through. So we're not always fighting if we don't want to, but we're going to purposely start a fight here by giving them the wrong password. And then we're going to go ahead and use some of our powers on them. And then we've got we've stunned them, and now we're going to go ahead and throw down the conflagration. So you see, in a very 1-2 punch manner, we were able to use powers effectively, and it's much more involved. One of the real high-level goals we wanted in Dungeon Siege 2 was to take the player deeper in terms of interactivity and focus, so that they were much more engaged in the game experience. We didn't want them casually clicking and sitting back in their chair. We wanted them to be much more engaged. So here we've got another story element. We've rescued this dryad. She's told us that, hey, if we want to move on and get past this tower, we actually need to get a piece from a broken fragment from the cage she was in. We use it as a torch, and we light it on this fire, and then we set fire to the tower. And so it's much more interactive. And we have a little sequence here that shows the building burning and clearing our path to the area beyond. All right, okay, so we just blew up that tower, and now as we cross into this next region here, we're going to actually see if we can show off how our new Coach AI system works, where these characters, well, actually they run and they form a line, and they get around us. And see up top here, they sent in a couple to attack us, and the rest are staying back, and they're actually guarding their leader. And the leader may actually send more in. And as we run through their ranks, let's run through to the other side. You'll notice they turn and they form up a new line. And that line is meant to protect the leader again. And there you see the leader actually healing one of his own. So that if you're not careful, you really got to go after the leaders. And really take those guys out first. And makes the AI, makes the combat richer. The whole experience is a lot more compelling and more dynamic and fundamentally challenging. And if you get lost or lose your way to the main path, you can actually bring up a map and see a lot more of the world and see what's going on. Jeremy's fighting some raptors. And these raptors are actually kind of tricky in that they'll run past and actually hide and then try to ambush you from behind. So the behavior is a little more interesting and different. These guys have this little glowing red indicator, meaning that they're aggroed on the healer. As soon as they see one of the party members healing, they go after the healer. That especially know that if they're going to win, they got to take the healer out. Not all the monsters do this, though. Again, it takes the combat to the next level. Jeremy's going to go ahead and have the mage actually heal. Okay, we've got a few more. As you can see here, the world, again, continues to be rich, dynamic, and interesting. And lots of areas, side areas to explore, hidden areas, depending on the time the player wants to take to go off and explore and discover things in the game. We're across this bridge here now. And still include the Z key that you can use to just pick up everything in the area. All right. And as you can see here, we've got this gorgeous river, which is just, again, uses our great Shader 2 technology that really allows us to make the world rich and more believable than ever, really. It's the type of stuff we dreamed of in the past. So we're bringing up all the UI, all the inventories at once, much like we did in DS1. We supported in DS1. We've got some special clubs that we're going to use to demonstrate how our pet can eat these. We actually take these items and feed them to the pet. Now this is an alternative to taking them back to town and selling them or transmuting them into gold. You can actually feed them to your pet, and depending on the items that you feed to the pet will change and develop attributes based on those items. So these are just quick items to show how the pet grows over time from a baby to an infant and continues to grow and grow. Let's go back to the specialty tab. You can see here we're almost at juvenile, and we've added to strength because we're using melee weapons. So this is another very exciting area that we've added. Of course, we still have the pack mule and continue the tradition that we had in Dungeon Siege 1. And that wraps it up. Hope to see you soon. Thanks.